Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at nice people that don't show it. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. Had a teacher growing up that came across as very strict and standoffish. Gave off this air of learn the material or fail. In reality though, he would answer any questions you had, even if it was being repeated, was incredibly patient, and would stay as late as he needed to in order to make sure the students understood the material. If a majority of the class bombed a test, he would address it with the class to understand what went wrong and would redo the material if needed. Looking at him or just popping by his class, you'd think he'd be a typical hard ass, but in reality he cared immensely about making sure we understood our lessons and were prepared for the next year. This is why we should always appreciate the good teachers, you know? I've met so many teachers like this though. If you weren't in the class, you would think they're the meanest person ever. But once you're actually in the class, you just realize how good of a teacher they are. Have you guys ever had that experience? It's like, oh my god, they're actually so nice. I guess we're just so fast to judge people. When they say take your time, I love it too when someone says this. It makes me feel like they just really care. I always do say this too though, because it makes me feel so good. So I always say it back to people, so it makes them feel good, hopefully. When you're in a group and that one person keeps trying to say something or add to the conversation, but they keep getting talked over, then that other person will look at them and say, sorry person, I didn't catch what you were trying to say. Can you repeat it? Sorry. I just love how they included sorry person and make space for the person being ignored unintentionally. That's a real gem. I've done this and I've been in this situation before too. I feel like we all have, right? It doesn't feel good because it's just like you're trying to and then no one hears you and then this person cares and you're like... I remember back then though, I would fall for someone so easily. Like even if they were just nice like this, I'd be like, oof. I'd have like some kind of feeling. But now it's not like that anymore because, you know, I can't lower my standards just because someone is nice. I waited tables at a pretty popular New Mexican restaurant when I was in college. There was this one manager, her name was Rosie, and she never smiled. She always looked like she was pissed off at everyone and everything. The entire waitstaff and bus staff feared her. When she walked into the kitchen and wanted something, the line would immediately jump to her demands. It was rumored that she was the person to fire any employee when an employee was fired. The only people that didn't seem to be scared of her were the hostesses. They were always talking to her like she was just any other manager or person in the restaurant. She scared me for the first year I worked there. I made sure that she never had anything to be upset at with me. One day I came into work sick and was just having a really bad day. She took me to the side and talked to me for a good half hour, just asking questions about my day and how school was going. Towards the end of the conversation, she said I didn't look good and that if I wanted to, I could take the night off. Rosie was the best person I ever met inside the restaurant industry. From that day on, it was my goal to make her laugh. I never did make her laugh, but I got a smile out of her quite a bit after that. She was not just a good person, she was one of the best. But man, you wouldn't know it unless you really took the time to look. That's so true. She was one of those types of people you know had had a hard time in life but put up a rough exterior. But deep down she was a softie and a loving grandmother type. I hope she's happy in her retirement. Oh my god. I guess we're just really fast to judge, right? And because we hear rumors about some people, we start to think that's really true when it isn't. Guy I used to work with was such a class clown, always cracking jokes. Everybody liked him because he was so funny. It was a while before I realized that his jokes were never at anybody's expense. He was kind. There was never anything mean in anything he ever said, to anybody's face or behind their back. Anyway, we're married now. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, yeah, those are the best people. When they make a joke and it's not offensive in any way and they're not trying to put anyone down. Because I know so many people, when they make a joke, it's always like roasting someone, you know? It's not a joke if you hurt someone else's feelings. They are given a chance to quietly talk bad about someone, but instead say something good. I love people like this. But honestly though, I haven't really come across a lot of people who talk bad about someone behind their back. Maybe I'm just hanging around the right people, honestly. When someone is actually in trouble or needs help, they will help out, even if it's really subtle or disguised as something else. For instance, there was a kid in my school who had a reputation for not caring about others, doing whatever he wanted, and tried to convince everyone that he pretty much had no emotions. I think he thought it made him seem more tough and hardcore, and although he didn't necessarily do anything bad to anyone, he tried not to seem kind either. Once, one of my friends at school had some sort of emergency where she needed, I think, $30. Most people in class either didn't have $30, which was quite a bit for a kid to bring to school to loan her, or they just didn't want to give it to her, thinking they will never get it back, and she was panicking. The teachers couldn't help her for some sort of legal reason. I think she wanted to take a taxi to the hospital because something had happened to a family member but was slightly underage, and the teachers had to pretend that they had no idea she was doing this. So this kid with the reputation collected money from all of his friends since he didn't have the money himself, under the pretense of another reason. I think it was something like movie tickets or something for that evening. Then he privately gave it to her, but told her not to tell anyone it was him. Oh my god. I was close friends with her and was actually standing right next to her when he approached us and told us this. She managed to get to the hospital on time, while he paid for the tickets or whatever with his own money once he got home. When she later offered to pay him back, he refused, insisting that he didn't do anything. I think he knew that her family would struggle to pay that back. They were having some financial trouble. Oh my god. This is so wholesome, but it kind of makes me sad at the same time. But you know what I realized though is that sometimes it's hard being nice. It's so much easier to just be mean or just, you know, ignore people and just treat people like you don't care about them because it's a lot easier that way. Like being nice sometimes is very draining. So yeah. So if you know any genuinely nice people, maybe ask them how they're doing, because I do feel like most nice people, they have like some things going on that you don't know about. I guess a way for them to deal with that is just to always be nice. So yeah, I have this friend who I can tell just is really sincere when he asks how I'm doing. I appreciate anyone asking because it's a convenient conversation starter. But with him, I can tell he actually cares what the answer is. I like doing this though. Sometimes I just wonder about people. Wonder about someone who I've been friends with, but we haven't really been talking, and just checking up on them just in case they need someone to talk to. I guess it makes them feel good, and it also makes you feel good because then you know how they're doing and you aren't that anxious. Or maybe that's just me, but like a part of me is always just like, what if they think I'm annoying? What if they don't want to talk and I'm just being annoying? I don't know, I think too much. People who ignore things like accidentally spitting while talking or accidentally farting to not make you feel embarrassed. Those are the best people, yeah. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!